Here today with Ben Thomas, the author of Jack Be Quick, an amazing horror thriller that comes out on May 9th. And today we're talking to him about his book and giving a little more information about why you should read it. So, can you tell us briefly about your book, Ben?
Yeah, sure. All right, so Jack Be Quick, if I had to give like an elevator pitch or something like that, I would say it's Noah McKeen. He's a paramedic who suffered an injury and now, through trying to treat that injury, has found himself addicted to painkillers in the midst of the opioid crisis that's happening in this country. And while he's dealing with that, he responds to a call that's supposed to be routine, but never believe what dispatch says. And when he gets there, it's not only not routine, it's dead on arrival. But then as he gets a little closer, he realizes it's the first of the remake of the Ripper murders. And as he gets more involved and another one of the killings happen, each one gets a little closer to home, and he gets a little more involved despite not wanting to.
Cool. Interesting. I one of the things I find really interesting is the kind of mashup between horror and thriller. It could have been a really great medical thriller, and then you have these horror elements in the Jack the Ripper lore. So, did you have a specific genre in mind when you started it, or was it just a lucky accident, or what? What was your process for that?
I think it was a lucky accident. I definitely didn't think it was going to be anything horror, although I'm fine with it because I love horror, everything, so that's good. I just wanted it to be really dark. I was watching The Following and The Killing at the time, and I just was like, okay, I need to do something like this, and yeah, so.
Great. So you have this interesting genre thing going on. What books or authors would you compare it to?
I like Gillian Flynn. Even before Gone Girl came out, Sharp Objects I think is the best thing she wrote so far. Dark Places are pretty good. I mean, all of her stuff is good, but Sharp Objects was definitely my favorite. So I think that influenced the darker aspect of it too. And then I was reading the Michael Connelly's books, the Lincoln Lawyer series at the time, so that kind of steered me towards the crime stuff. So just a bunch of different things, I would say.
Very cool. One of the things I find interesting about authors is those who are really into movies and those who are really into gaming, and you're interested in both really heavily. So how do you feel like that influences your storytelling?
I mean, I hope it helps it. But I think the biggest thing now is, I mean, if you want to be a good writer, you got to read a lot. That's a given. But the thing too is that you have the movie industry and the gaming industry, which are multi-billion-dollar industries, and I mean, especially the gaming industry, like exploded over the last 15 years. And nowadays, you have these AAA titles or even these indie games that are 30 hours long and they're full in-depth stories, and they're selling as good as books are, as good as movies are. So I think if you're interested in writing something, like I like the really dark fiction, so I was reading Gillian Flynn, I was playing The Last of Us, I was watching movies like Cloverfield or Fight Club or just really dark stuff, which, I mean, I know Fight Club started as a book, but there's some differences in the movies and got like a cult following there. But anyways, I think what you have to do is if you look at it, you got to kind of look at what's working. If you have three similar things across all those platforms, you kind of got to look at what's working for all three of those, because the storytelling is going to be similar in those, and if you can figure out what's working in them and apply it to your writing, I think it'll help. So hopefully I did that.
Yeah, that's really awesome. Especially you mentioned The Last of Us. I remember playing the first few minutes of that, and just the tension in that is so, I mean, it's not real, but it's so visceral and so palpable. It's kind of amazing. So I feel like you do a good job with bringing that into your book.
Thank you. Yeah, Naughty Dog had a home run with that game. I've played it countless times, and that first 15 minutes will get me every time. It's just like, wow. I played it again recently, probably like 2 months ago, and I know the story frontwards and backs, and I still remember that first 15 minutes, then you just put the controller down and you kind of just sit there for a few minutes and then you start playing. That is such a good game.
Yeah, that's when it's a good storyteller, when they pull you in at that level. That's awesome. So can you tell us about your main character in Jack Be Quick?
Yeah, so Noah McKeen, he's a paramedic, which in EMS, so ambulances and that kind of stuff, you have first responders and EMTs, and then you have paramedics, which aside from flight nurses that work in the med choppers, they're the highest on the EMS scenes. They give meds, they intubate patients who can't breathe, so they do stuff that the other first responders can't do. So that's what he does, and in the beginning, he's larger than life, doing good, and then he gets injured pretty quickly, and kind of spirals downward. So that's where we pick up.
Okay, interesting. Do you have a favorite character?
I would say probably Detective Madsen would be my favorite.
What do you like about her?
She's just like this. She's like this gargoyle cop, like this pint-sized little punk that is really cool, but you also know could probably kick the crap out of you. So I don't know. I like her character a lot.
Yeah, there's a fun drinking scene with her in there. Are there any characters that you feel like are more like you than others? I mean, obviously Noah has the career element. Is there anyone personality-wise that you feel?
I mean, Noah definitely took the career side. He didn't take the addiction painkillers from me, so let's just clear that up right away. But I don't know if anyone. I mean, I use some things from experiences I've had, but the banter between him and his brother, and it would probably be reminiscent of the banter between me and my brother, or my brother and I. But nothing like, oh, this character is so and so, or this is me, or nothing like that. No.
Yeah, that's awesome. Do you have a favorite scene, maybe, in the book?
Not one I can talk about without giving a lot away. So,
okay, fair enough. Do you have a scene that was harder to write than others, or maybe took more effort?
I think the beginning. I probably wrote the beginning I probably wrote the whole thing 8 times, but I probably wrote the beginning 10 times, and at one point I stopped and just didn't do anything for a month because for whatever reason I couldn't get into the scene at all. And then it turns out that through the editing process that got scrapped and a whole new first chapter on it anyway. So hey,
yeah, it's hard. It's hard to find that voice right from the beginning.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Do you have anything you want to tell readers about your book or anything that you're excited for them to find out about?
Well, I just hope you enjoy it. Entertainment at its best. So, I just hope you enjoy it. That's all.
Awesome. Yeah. Again, Jack Be Quick. It's coming May 9th, and it's a lot of fun. All right. We'll talk to you soon again, Ben. Thanks.
Sounds good.